Hey, my little rock stars. I just wanted to hop on. Last week, I talked to you about the set list and how that affects us. But this week, I want to talk to you about sound check. Ask any musician, any real professional musician, and they will tell you the same thing over and over again. Sound check is a non negotiable. It does not matter if you've played at that venue 100 times. It doesn't matter if you've been on tour for 6 months and you could do the show in your sleep. Before any performance, before one single fan walks through those doors, you have to do a sound check. You check every microphone, every monitor, every instrument, every speaker in the house. You listen for feedback. You adjust levels. You make sure everything is calibrated and working exactly the way it needs to work before the pressure of the live show goes. And here's what's fascinating about that. It's not because they don't trust themselves. It's not because they think something's wrong. It's because they know that conditions change. A room is different every single night. There's the humidity, temperature, the acoustics, everything shifts. And a professional knows that before you can show up fully for anybody else, you have to first check it with yourself. Now, let me ask you something. When is the last time you did a sound check on yourself? That's right. When is the last time you did a sound check on yourself? When was that? Before the world got to you, before the emails, the kids, the job, all the noise, all the chaos. When is the last time you actually stopped and gave yourself a check in? Not to fix anything, not to solve anything, just listen. I'm Tracy, and this is Trauma Rockstars. Today, we're doing your sound check, and we're going to do it together. Most of us wake up and immediately hand our attention to something or someone else. The phone, the news, our to-do lists, other people's needs. We go from 0 to 100 without ever once asking ourselves, hey, how am I actually doing today? And I want to be really clear about something. A sound check is not a to-do list, you guys. It is not a morning routine of productivity hacks. It is not about optimizing yourself so you can perform better for other people. It is a check in with you, for you, only you. In a real sound check, there's a sound engineer whose whole job is to listen, not to the crowd, not to what's happening outside, just to what's happening in that room with those instruments in that moment. That sound engineer, that's you. You are the engineer of your own life. Here's what I've learned, and this took me a long time to understand. I know we've all heard the saying, you can't pour from an empty cup, but you cannot pour from an empty soundboard. If your levels are off, if there's feedback in the system, if something is disconnected and you didn't know it, the whole show suffers. And you won't even know why. Your nervous system is your instrument, your body, your emotions, your thoughts. Those are your channels. And just like a mixing board, there are multiple channels that all need to be set correctly for the music to sound right. You have multiple channels inside you that all need to be checked. When you skip your sound check, and most of us skip it every single day, you walk out onto the stage of your life with levels that are off, feedback you can't hear, and channels that are completely disconnected. And then you wonder why you feel reactive, why you snap at people you love, why you feel depleted by noon, why nothing feels like enough. I don't know about you, but that midday slump hits. Here's a truth bomb. You would never let a band go on stage without a sound check. So why do you let yourself neglect this? When I worked in the music industry, I would never let a band go on stage without a sound check. So why do I neglect that with myself? You need to ask yourself that question. Every single day, you walk into your life completely unchecked and you expect the show to go perfectly. Well, guess what? It won't. It can't. not without that check in. I want to talk to you about what actually happens to us when we chronologically skip our sound check, because most people have been doing this for so long, they don't even realize they're doing it. I know I was the same way. When you skip your sound check, you become reactive instead of responsive. There is a massive difference between those two things. Reactive is when your nervous system is already dysregulated before the day even starts. So everything that comes at you gets an oversized response. Someone says one small little thing and it goes from 0 to 10 super fast. An email comes in that's mildly inconvenient and suddenly your whole day is ruined. That is not being dramatic, you guys. That's a dysregulated instrument that was never checked. Responsive is when you know where you're starting from. You've done your check in. You know today is a heavy day emotionally. You know you didn't sleep well. You know your nervous system is running a little hot. And so when that email comes in or that phone call, you can say, okay, I see this. I'm going to take a breath and I'm going to respond from a grounded place instead of fear and exhaustion. You just have to give yourself that pause and say that. I'm going to respond from a grounded place instead of fear and exhaustion. My morning check in or routine is a non negotiable for me. It's meditation, it's the gym, it's shower, it's having my protein shake. If I don't get it done in the morning, you guys, my day just starts off on the wrong foot. That's just how it is. This grounds me and gets my head clear and relaxed. Think about a season of your life where you were running completely on empty. It could be today, it could be yesterday, it could be every day. No check ins, no pauses, just going. What did that look like? What did it cost you? I know when I don't take that time for myself in the morning, my entire day suffers from it. Here are some signs that your sound check has been off for a while. You feel like you've been running on empty, but you can't explain why. You're snapping at people and then feeling guilty about it. You feel completely disconnected from your own emotions, like you're numb or like you're going through the motions, just kind of floating along. You're exhausted even after sleep. You feel like you're always behind, always catching up, always just surviving. Maybe you've forgotten what it actually feels like to be okay. Like, this is the new normal. Does any of this sound familiar? That is what happens when the sound engineer has left the building. Nobody is watching the levels. The show goes on because life doesn't pause, but it is messy, it is loud, and it is out of tune. Another truth bomb, you guys. Trauma teaches us to abandon ourselves. That's just common knowledge. To be so focused on surviving and managing everyone else's comfort, on staying small and safe, that we completely stop checking in on ourselves. The sound check is how we come back. It's how we stop abandoning the most important instrument in the room. That is you. You are the most important instrument in the room. In a real sound check, the engineer goes channel by channel. They don't just check the whole thing all at once. It's isolated with every input. You've got to make sure it's coming through clearly, and then you bring it all together into the mix. You're going to do the same thing. Your sound check has 4 channels, okay? 4. And I want you to think about these every single time you do your check in. Your first channel is your vocals, your voice. In music, the vocals are often the last thing that gets checked, but they are the most important. The vocals carry your message, the words, your story. Your vocal channel is about whether you are using your voice or suppressing it. Are you saying what you actually need to say? Are you speaking up for yourself? Or are you staying quiet to keep the peace while feedback builds up inside you? Check in question, okay? What am I not saying right now that needs to be said? Think about that. What am I not saying right now that needs to be said? The second channel is the beat, which is your body. A drummer sets the tempo. If a drummer is off, everything else falls apart. Your body is your drummer. It sets the rhythm for everything else. The body is always talking to you. You need to listen. There's tension in your shoulders, tightness in your chest, maybe knots in your stomach, trouble sleeping, headaches, exhaustion. The body is not betraying you, it's communicating with you. It just wants you to listen. The sound check is when you actually listen. This is the deep connection to your nervous system, you guys. Are you running in fight or flight right now? Are you shut down and frozen? Or maybe you're somewhere in the middle. Maybe it just varies by day, which is okay. You need to know before you walk into your day. Here's a check-in question for you. Where am I holding tension right now? This is my body trying to talk to me. What is it trying to tell me? Here's your third channel is the mix, which is your emotions. The mix is everything happening in the middle. It's all the layers that come together. And emotionally, this is the most complex channel because most of us were never really taught to identify what we're actually feeling. Not I'm fine, not I'm stressed. What is actually happening in your emotional body right now? Are you grieving something? Are you angry about something you haven't addressed? Are you carrying someone else's emotions that aren't even yours to carry? Are you scared? Maybe lonely, hopeful, maybe all of the above. Trauma survivors are especially prone to emotional bypassing, meaning we skip over what we're actually feeling because feeling it actually can feel dangerous. But you cannot heal what you will not acknowledge. Remember that. You cannot heal what you will not acknowledge. The sound check is your safe space to be honest with yourself. Another check in question for you. What emotion am I carrying into today that I haven't named yet? What emotion am I carrying into today that I haven't named yet? And here's your fourth channel, the reverb, which is up here, your mind. Reverb is the echo in the room. It's what lingers after the note is played. Your mental channel is about what's echoing in your mind, the thoughts that are on repeat, the stories you're telling yourself, the background noise that you've been carrying around for so long that you don't even notice it anymore. What is the inner critic saying today? What fears are looping? What stories about yourself? Who are you? What you deserve, what's possible for you. Are you playing in the background of everything you do? We're going to talk a lot more about this in the future episode called The Tour Manager because that inner critic is running a whole operation inside you and it's time to address it. But for now, the sound check is just about noticing. This is no pressure, it's just noticing. You don't have to fix the reverb today. You just need to hear it and understand it. Here's a check-in question for you. What story am I telling myself today, and is it actually true? What story am I telling myself today, and is it actually true? Now, let's talk about these four channels. There's your vocals, which is your voice, the beat, which is your body, the mix, which is your emotions, and the reverb, which is your mind. That's your complete sound check, you guys. You just went through it. And here's what I love about this framework. You don't have to go deep on all four every day. Some days one channel is going to be louder than others. Some days everything is going to be needing adjustment. The point is that you're checking in, you're listening. You don't just walk on stage blind. So here's a couple steps for you. Step one, do this before the noise starts. Your sound check has to happen before the show. That means before you pick up the phone, before you check your emails, before you interact with anyone else's needs or energy. Even if it's 5 minutes, that's all it takes. Even if it's while you're still in bed before you get up, maybe in the shower. The point is that you get to yourself first. That is the very, very most important thing. I know it feels impossible for some of you. You've got kids, you've got a job that starts early, you've got people who need you in the moment your eyes open. I hear you, but I want to challenge you on something. What if 5 minutes of that sound check in the morning made the other 23 hours and 55 minutes of the day go completely differently? What if that's all it took? What if checking in with yourself first made you a better parent, a better partner, a better version of yourself for every single person in your life? That would be amazing. Step 3 is I want you to ask all 4 questions. You can do this in your head. You can do it in your journal, on a voice memo, whatever works for you. I love my voice memos, especially because we're so busy. You could just shoot yourself a voice memo. I'll do that. And then I'll write in my journal after, like maybe later on or the next day. Just go through all the channels. What am I not saying that needs to be said? Where is my body holding tension right now? What emotion am I carrying that I haven't named? What story am I telling myself today? You don't need to solve any of this. You just need to hear it. Awareness is the beginning of everything. And step 3 is adjust before you perform. Here's where the sound check gets powerful. Once you know what channel is off, you can make a small adjustment before the show starts. A little teeny adjustment. Not a huge overhaul, just a small intentional shift. Body is tense. Take 3 slow breaths before you start your day. Carrying an emotion you haven't named, write it down. Say it out loud. Let it be real for just a moment. Mind running a story that isn't true? Name that story. This is the story I'm telling myself. Is it true? That's it. That question alone is transformative. And then the final step, step 4, is do a mid-show check too. Professional sound engineers don't just check at the beginning before the show starts at the sound check. They monitor throughout the entire show. You are allowed to pause midday and do another quick check-in. I actually think it's really powerful if you can do that. Excuse yourself from a meeting. Step outside for 2 minutes. Pretend you got to go to the bathroom. Ask yourself, how am I doing right now? What do I need in this moment? This is not weakness. This is mastery. Inside the Rockstar 30 program that I've created, there's a daily check-in that's built right into the structure. Because I designed it knowing that without a daily sound check, the best roadmap in the world won't work. You can have the most beautiful set list, but if you never check your instrument, you'll get on stage and nothing will come out the way you planned. The Rockstar 30 program takes the guesswork out of it for you. It's designed for busy high achievers that don't have a lot of time. It literally walks you through exactly how to check in, what to look for, and how to use what you find. This is all on traumarockstars.com, you guys. So just go there and you'll find it. I want to leave you, though, with something today. There is a version of you that walks through every single day completely checked out of yourself. You're running on fumes, maybe responding to everything and choosing nothing, going through the motions and wondering why nothing ever really changes. I know that's been me. And then there's a version of you that starts every day with the sound check. 5 minutes, 4 questions, a moment of honesty with yourself before the noise starts. That version of you shows up differently, I promise. Not perfectly. Nobody plays a perfect show every single night, but differently. You're more grounded, you're more aware, and you're more able to catch yourself before things spiral, more able to respond instead of reacting, maybe even able to actually be present in your own life. You are a professional. Your healing journey is your tour. And professionals, real ones, do not skip the sound check. This week, I want you to do one thing. Tomorrow morning, before you touch your phone, before your day starts, just ask yourself the 4 questions: the vocals, the beat, the mix, the reverb, which is your voice, your body, your emotions, and your mind. 30 seconds each. Just listen. You don't have to fix anything. Just listen to what's actually happening inside you. That is the key. And if you want a guided structure to make this a daily practice that's a lot easier and it actually sticks, then the Rockstar 30 program is waiting for you at traumarockstars.com. It's built for exactly this. You deserve to be heard, even especially by yourself. I'm Tracy Smaldino. This is Trauma Rockstars. And rock stars, they always check their sound before they go on stage. I'll see you next Tuesday. The content on this podcast revolves around personal life experiences and is meant to serve as a learning tool. I am not a certified therapist or medical expert. This podcast doesn't offer medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're curious about your mental or physical well-being, feel free to reach out to a licensed healthcare professional for assistance.